Hey guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel, Accounts Guru Cool. Learn accounting online. So today we are here based on the request of one of our member. We are going to discuss about what is account receivable. In addition to that, we are going to discuss about responsibilities of an account receivable specialist. What is account receivable? In addition to that, we are going to discuss how that account receivable process start. What are all the roles and responsibilities going to be? What is the first trigger point from where that account receivable start and where that's going to be end, and what's the meaning of that? That everything we are going to discuss here. And AR is one of the important function towards the business, and that's going to be considered as a blood of the organizations. To run the organization smoothly, the AR is too much important. We have to do the focus towards that, and this is one of the important department to run the entire organizations. So considering, it's important for us to know what is AR, how the AR function work, what's the first trigger point that AR is going to start, and when that's going to be end. In addition to that, if you are looking yourself to join towards the AR, what sort of responsibility is going to be, from where that AR responsibility start until at what end that's going to end. That's everything we are going to discuss here. So request all the members and viewers to be with us till the end to get a more insight about AR process and responsibilities of an accounts receivable. In addition to that, if you're looking for any sort of training related to accounting and finance, you can connect with us on our email ID accounts.gurucool@yahoo.com. In addition to that, being member would request, if you have any query from your end, you can put up in the comment, do that in a comment, add that in the comment. We are going to consider that and will create the content based on your request and as per your need. So let's jump towards to discuss about what is account receivable. So when you are thinking yourself to join the AR, first you have to do the focus to grasp the knowledge about that. What is account receivables? What sort of roles and responsibilities going to be? How we are going to work in account receivable? What sort of work is going to be? That's important to know. And considering, we are here to discuss about what is account receivable. Account receivable, or AR, is the accounting term used to refer to the payment that a business will receive from its customers who have purchased its goods and services on credit. So the account receivable, that's the AR, that's the accounting term that's used refer to the payment that business will receive from its customers who have purchased its goods and services on credit. When we are discussing about the business concept, so it's important for us to know what is meant by account receivables. So when we are going to do the business, most of the times in accrual concept, in a cash accounting concept, the AR is not going to create. So that's the difference between the cash based accounting systems and accrual based accounting systems. So here the AR is going to generate in accrual concept when we are following the accrual accounting concept. Considering that, when you are doing the business and providing any services or selling the goods to your customers, and you are doing that on credit, it means you are giving the some credit terms to pay against that invoice to your customer. It's the simplest example is that if you are doing the business of selling of any goods and you have the agreement with your customer that he is going to do the payment after 30 days from the invoice date, it means if you generate the invoice with today's date, that's going to be 22 of December, So your invoice is going to be due after the 30 days from today's date. That's going to be the due date. So you're not getting the money on the day or on the same time when you are generating the invoice. So you are giving the some credit term to your customer. Says that either it's a 30 days, 15 days, 7 days, 90 days, 120 days, whatever, that's going to be treated as a payment term. So account receivable, it means whatever the amount that business will receive from its customer who have purchased its goods and services on credit. So if you're receiving any advance, that's not going to be treated as an AR. AR, it means if you delivered any services or goods on credit, against that, whatever amount is receivable to the business from their customer, that's going to be treated as accounts receivable. So that's the meaning of account receivable. Now, since AR are funds that a company expects to receive from its customers in the near future, they are listed as a current asset on the balance sheet. Knowing that the account receivable, that means the amount is going to receive from our customer, and that's our asset, and that asset is going to listed towards current asset in the balance sheets. So that amount is going to receive within the near future, so that's going to be treated as an current asset on the balance sheet. When you are going to book the invoice of sales, that's AR, that customer or account receivable account is going to debit to your revenue account is credit. Revenue is going to hit to your P&L towards the credit side, and this AR is going to park towards the balance sheet as an current asset. Towards that AR, we are going to receive the money from our customers in the future. And when we receive the amount from our customer, the entry is going to be that bank account debit and your customer account is going to credit. So your customer is going to be zero when the payment is received. So it means your AR is going to be start from sale of the transaction to till receipt of the amount from your customer. So that's the cycle. That's also we are going to discuss. Owing to the critical nature of account receivable function, account receivable specialists are quite simply the backbone of any finance team. That's the reason I use the word AR is a blood of the organizations. That's a backbone of any finance team, backbone of organizations. On the whole, these highly skilled individuals are responsible for maintaining a company's financial accounts with incoming transactions. So we have to give that much importance towards the account receivable, considering it's defined that that's a backbone of business. And if your backbone is not good, then how you are going to run your business? So that's reason it's too much important for us to know how the account receivable works and what is mean by account receivables and how we have to make it more streamlined towards the AR function, since that's going to be treated as an backbone of any organizations, blood of any organizations. Account receivable is a complex chain of process that starts once. Then how the AR is going to be start? What's the trigger point when you are looking yourself to join towards the AR? This is one of the important thing to know what is mean by account receivables and how and from when this AR is going to trigger. What's the first point of that? And you have to just take one scenario, assuming that you are into the business and you want to do the sale of your transactions. How you are going to do that? You want to provide the services, how you are going to do that? So that's the process you have to correlate with this, and that's exactly little bit modified, and it's too much process driven process for AR. That's the first is going to be quotation sent. That's a quotation. Whenever we are working into account receivables, and That's the process of AR, order to cash, O2C, start with the quotation. So it means that either it's a sales team responsibility, sales team is going into the market, identifying the customers, demonstrate our product, or describing our services. And once that customer is ready to purchase that services, ready to avail that services or goods from us, he is going to ask to send the quotation for that. In that quotations, we are going to provide the details, what he asked, and what's the quoted price for that. That's the quotations. That's also is going to be generated from the systems. So sales team is going into the market, identifying the customers, identifying the who want our services, and based on that providing that information to AR team to share the quotation as per the customer's requirement. That preparation of the quotation, that's also the responsibility of the account receivable team. So once we have the information from the sales team to create the quotations, so we are going to create the quotations based on the what details we have received. So once we share the quotation, sales team is going to do the negotiations further with that customer if he approach to reduce the price. And then once that's finalized, the that particular customer is going to place the purchase order on us. Our sales team identified the customers, explain them the product, or provided what services we have to provide. That's all discussed. We provided the quotations. These guys done the negotiation and finally placed the purchase order on us, stating that they need certain sort of product or services, and this much is the price is agreed, this much is a quantity, and that's going to be delivery date, and this is going to be the payment term. That everything you are able to get it from that purchase order. Once the purchase order is received, the AR team is going to create the sales order in the system based on that purchase order. So when we are creating the sales order in the systems, we have to check what's the purchase order is there, and whatever the prices mentioned in the purchase order and the payment terms, either that's as per the shared quotation or that's a reduced one. What's the change over there? And if our purchase order is from the different amount or different terms is used over there other than the quotations what we have shared with our customer, then we need to get the confirmation from the sales team stating that the purchase order what we have received, either that's as per the final acceptance of the price or that's something different. We have to further validate that. So when we are creating the sales orders, so how that purchase order is accepted and who accepted that to with that pricing. So that's important to evaluate. If your quotation is stating something different, your purchase order is different, then on whom you are going to do the trust. So you have to recheck with the respective sales team or responsible person mentioning that we have provided the quotation with X amount, we have received the purchase order with the Y amount, do let me know once Z. It means once the where is the confirmation for that X, Y, Z. So based on that confirmations, then we have to revalidate either that purchase order is correct or not. Once the purchase order is correct, then in between, if once we share the quotations, then that's not accepted. Then if they negotiated the price and then again sales team accepted the reduced price, then it's an idle process. We have to modify that quotation or we have to send the new quotation to that customer. Since from quotation, the sales order is going to create. So that's also the system configuration is there. So once that's done, or we have the confirmation from the sales team, we are going to create the sales order as per the purchase order and going to attach the sales order over there. So when you are creating sales order in the systems, you have to reinsure either quotation, purchase order, and sales order. That's all is aligned. If the quotation is not, then what's the final approval? That's important. But that final approval or quotation plus purchase order and plus sales order, that everything is need to be aligned. That's a three-way match in the systems before going to place the sales order in the systems. So either that quotation, final acceptance, or purchase order is aligned. If yes, then you have to create the sales order and you have to reinsure that sales order, purchase order, quotation, or approval all are on a same page. Once that's done, the next process is going to be a sale is made or service is delivered. Once our sales order is generated in the systems and mention the delivery date of that services or delivery date of that product to the customer, or on the date when we have the confirmation from the respective dispatch team, sales team, or departmental head says that kindly create or prepare the invoice against this sales order for these line items with these quantities. Then a sale is made or service is delivered. Then we have to create the sales invoice in the systems. That's also is going to be responsibility of the AR team. Sending the quotation, preparing the quotation, revalidation of the purchase order, creating the sales order in the systems. Based on that sales order, as and when we have the confirmations, we need to create the sales invoice towards that. So that's the invoice generation. A sale is made or service is delivered. So we are going to generate the invoice. That's the invoice generated. That's also our responsibility. And ends when. So the start point is sending the quotation, preparing the quotation. Based on that quotations, once we have the purchase order, we have to create the sales order, and we need to evaluate quotations, further final approval, and purchase order is in line, then we have to prepare the sales order. Once the SO is created in the systems, as and when the sales is made or service is delivered, once we have the information towards that, we have to prepare the invoice for that. That's going to be the process for quotation to generating the invoice, and ends when the payment has been received and reported. So order to cash, once we have the order to till receiving of the cash or receipt of the cash, that entire process is going to consider as order to cash. In between, once the invoice is generated, then we have to share the invoice to the customers or dispatch team. What sort of checks we have to do it towards the payment has been received or reported, what sort of follow-up we have to do. This all is going to be part of the AR's responsibility. That's also we are going to discuss. On the one hand, customers have a tendency of delaying payments as much as possible, while a business that has provided goods or services will expect to receive payments as soon as possible and maintain its cash flow. Most of the businesses, they have the tendency to delay the payment as much as possible. I don't know why, but yes, that's the truth. Saying that if it's 30 days is over, due date is over, then again some 10 days, 15 days, that's also is going to be required. So we have to keep doing the follow-up with that customer says that ki boss, your invoice is due and we haven't yet received the payment. That's also one of the responsibility from the AR, since that's going to the backbone for the organizations, and that's going to the blood for the organizations, and that's going to be straightway impact on cash flow. So that's also one of the important things towards the AR. So this is meaning of your account receivables and how the account receivables start and when that's going to be end. Now, what does an account receivable specialist do? So knowing that, once you have a clarity about what is mean by AR, what sort of responsibility is going to be there, from where that account receivable start, then definitely you are going to know that what's the responsibility account receivable do, since having the quotations, preparing the quotations, then creating the sales order in the systems. Once the sales order is created, we are going to prepare the invoice for that. Once we prepared, we have to share that invoice with customers. If any issues going to be, we have to provide the clarification for that. We have to do the follow up with our customers for receipt of that amount. Once we received, we have to do the booking of that. If any discrepancy, again we have to approach to the customers to get an clarity on that. So that's all is going to be part of your account receivable activities, responsibilities, and that's added here. Here are some of the primary duties of an account receivable specialist to do. First is preparation of quotations. From AR process, we know from when that AR is going to start. So preparation of the quotations. So how you are going to do that? Once you have the information, someone is going to provide you the information mentioning that, hey, please create these quotations on these particular customers against these line items. So the pricing, he is also going to mention if it's auto pricing is updated in the systems, that's going to be captured from there. And if any discount or reduce price is agreed at an initial before going to share the quotation, then that particular persons who's asking us to provide create the quotation, he is going to share with us. So he's going to provide you the details. Okay, what's going to be the customers, which are all the line items, and how much is the quantity, and what's the price. So based on that, we have to prepare the quotation, either that's in any ERP, and then we have to provide that quotation to the our team, and that team is going to share that quotation with the customer. That's going to be the first responsibility towards AR. Next, preparation of sales order based on purchase order. So once we receive the purchase order, we have to create the sales order in the system based on the purchase order after doing the validation of either that PO is aligned with our quotations or the final acceptance on the pricing towards that product. Then if it's aligned, then we have to prepare sales order. Next, preparation, generation, and sending of invoices. So once we created the purchase order, then as soon as we have the confirmation from the team to prepare or generate the invoice, then we have to create and send that invoices as per the PO, that's a purchase order, on which email ID or where we have to share that. That's also is going to be our responsibility. That's a preparation and generation and sending of invoices. Tracking incoming payments. So once we generated the invoice, either that's towards the goods or services, then we have to do the tracking of incoming payments. So it means as per the invoice, when that payment is going to due, either we have received that payment or not, we have to do the follow for that. That's a tracking of incoming payments. That's also the AR responsibility. Communications with customers for payment resolutions. So if any payment is delay, if any discrepancies over there, if any issues with the invoices, we have to communicate with our customers and to get a more clarity on that. And we have to resolve. That's also the responsibility of the AR team. Addressing payment discrepancies. So when you are going to do the follow up with the customers and the customer is saying that no, that invoice is not as per the purchase order, or we agreed with your team to have some discount. So whatever the discrepancies over there, either it in invoice, either it in product, then we have to address for that. That's also the AR's responsibility. Maintaining billing accounts and records. So we have to keep a control over the billing accounts and records. Whatever we have generated the sales invoices, we have to keep it in one folder. Whatever accounts it's created towards the AR, we have to do the review of that accounts. What's pending over there? That's everything we have to take care. Recording and reconciling payments. When we receive the payment from the customers, we have to do the recording of that and reconciling payments. Whatever the payments we received, we have to do the reconciliations of that as well. And that all is
all are allocated towards the invoices or not, and that received payment towards which particular invoices. That's the recording and reconciling of payments. Evaluation of a current policies and recommendations for process improvement. So this is also is going to be the important being roles and responsibility. That's the primary duties. So we have to keep evaluating towards the current processes, policies, and we have to do the recommendation to the business for process improvement. How we are going to keep a track of AR, auto reminder need to send to the customers. That should be how the that's one of the important configuration is required in the systems, or our ERP is going to be that much supported where we are able to send the auto reminder to the customers. From that ERP itself, so we are going to receive the aging report every Monday. If you want to see the aging report, then system should generate the report and share with us. That's also is going to be the important from the automation standpoint. So we have to do the some recommendations for the process improvement. So that's the primary duties of an account receivable specialist. Generating business and case specific reports. That's the last responsibility towards is that we have to prepare the report and as per the case specific reports. So what report is going to be here? Aging report that's generated from the systems. What's the top 10 invoices in the outstanding? What are all the overdue invoices? Which are all the our top customers? That everything we have to capture. How many invoices is over there in the query? What's the query is going to be? How many discrepancies arise in the invoices? How many delays from our side for preparation of the quotations? How many delays from our side for generating the invoices? Inconsistency towards the preparation of the invoices. So what issues is observed in that week? Plus, what's the aging report? What's going to be the future prediction cash flow? How much amount is going to receive? What's the discussion done with customers towards the aging invoices? That report we have to present to the management. Since we are the one who are doing the focus from sending the quotation to till receiving the payment and doing the application in the system. So that's the end-to-end responsibility of this ER account receivable. Might be the sum of the responsibility allocate to you and for some another team is there, but that's also is going to be the AR. Considering if the volume is high, then from sending the quotation to doing the application of receipt in the systems is not the one person's responsibility. So it's going to be allocate the multiple person. Someone is going to taking care of the creation of the quotation and preparation of the sales order. Someone is doing the work towards the generating and sending the invoices and tracking the payment and doing the application in the systems. Someone is going to do the control towards the collections. That's a collection team. We have already uploaded the one content towards the payment of AR. Then there are lots of challenges over there as well. Then someone is going to take care for that. But yes, these are all the primary duties of an account receivable team. So that's all from this. Important things to take away is that what is account receivables, how that works, and responsibilities of an account receivable specialist. We have discussed everything towards this, and this is one of the important one to have and more clarity on AR. So thanks guys for being with us till the end, and request all the viewers and members to like, share, and subscribe our channel to get a more insight towards accounting and finance. In addition to that, if you're looking for any sort of training related to accounting and finance, you can connect with us on our email ID accounts.gurukul@yahoo.com. Thank you.